Well, welcome. Today we are going to talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and how much I absolutely hate those little bally things that you put on your ring light because they never stay straight and you can never get them to do right and you look like a crazy person because you're always cockeyed. But enough of that. My name's Christy. I mean absolutely nothing to you. For the three of you that watch me, thank you. Let me stop you right there. Those that are like, oh, you got purple hair, go fuck yourself. Those that are like, oh my God, you're fat. I'm aware. This is not something that snuck up on me, all right? I was 98 pounds before I got pregnant. Now I am this. So you're welcome. I don't have makeup on or a bra because fuck you. Now, that being said, I am about 2 margaritas deep in, and by 2 I mean 4, and a nice vanilla vodka and Coke. And by Coke I mean Pepsi. Because it makes me think. It helps me think. So, first we're going to talk about Amber Heard. Amber Heard, I've never heard of you until Johnny Depp. And I saw Pineapple Express. You were pretty much not memorable. Any ditzy blonde could have played you. Anyone. You were not special. I also saw Zombieland. Let's go back to that. Not memorable. You're any stinking 20-something-year-old blonde. Nothing. I saw Aquaman. Oh my God. And that is an hour and a half of my life I will never get back. The only good parts about Aquaman, probably the only reason I went to go see Aquaman was to see Jason Momoa without a shirt on. So those were the only redeeming qualities of this movie. I didn't even know you were in it. I wasn't paying attention. I wanted to walk out and leave that fucking movie. There's only been 2 other times I have wanted to walk out on a movie. That one. Then there was, I had a guy I was dating that took me to see 50 Shades of Grey because he thought, oh, you're a girl, you'll like this. It was a fucking snooze fest. I fucking hated it. And Blair Witch, I'm like, whoever thinks that was like amazing cinematography, I just want to punch you right in the throat. I mean, those are 3 movies I wanted to walk out of so badly, but I kept thinking, no, it's got to get better, and it didn't. So, Amber, if you got replaced on that movie, no one would fucking notice because no one knew you were fucking in it to begin with. The only people that watched Aquaman was watching it to see a shirtless Jason Momoa. So check yourself, all right? Then The Psychologist. If you've been watching the trial, which I'm glued to it. I'm fucking glued to it. Mainly because I kind of like watching somebody else's train wreck because it makes me feel less awkward about my own train wreck. She was diagnosed with 2 disorders. Borderline personality and histrionic, in which I'd never heard of the latter. But my daughter, and I'm only saying this because I know she's going to watch this, it's fine. But I swear I think she's got borderline. And if you really, truly know anyone that's had it, oh, it's a fucking nightmare. You are literally, there's a book that says, walking on eggshells. You literally are. Because you don't know what version you're going to get. Are you going to get happy-go-lucky, everything's great? Or if you literally just look at them, they're going to explode. That is borderline personality. They sometimes get confused with bipolar, and I think my doctor thinks I'm bipolar. She knows everything. She might be right. I have a lot of ups and downs, but my ups and downs last for days or weeks. Bipolar, I mean, minutes they can go from up or down, and you think, oh my God, I don't know if I want to shut my eyes because she may murder me in my sleep. That is borderline personality. So it just, in my experience, I am no psychotherapist, I'm no psychiatrist, but the definition of that characteristics, they have instability in relationships, emotions, behavior, identity, fear of abandonment. Don't you leave me! Why are you always splitting on me? Why are you always leaving me? Threats of using the legal system, restraining order. You got a restraining order against Johnny Depp, yet so far you're the only one that has seen him hit you, but yet tons of people have seen you chuck cans at him, punch him. But again, the problem I have is I wanted to be on your side, Amber. I did. I wanted to be on your side because I think domestic violence in general is horrible. And there are so many women that don't come forward, and even more men that don't come forward. Because how demasculating is that? If you're a guy being like, oh yeah, my chick beat me up. No one wants to admit it. And with a woman, you're like, oh, he's going to change. You don't know how when he's alone with me. He loves me. We always want to think the best of the person that we've chosen to be with. But you have basically negated the entire Me Too movement. So every woman that comes forward after this, they're going to think, oh, is this Amber Heard we're dealing with? So you've basically taken and took a shit on, pardon the pun, everybody else that has actually had something legitimately go wrong in their lives. So for that, fuck you, Amber. And I think you heard me right. Pardon the pun. Okay, symptoms, like I said, fear of abandonment. People with borderline personality disorder are often terrified at being abandoned or left alone. I'm bipolar, also have the same thing. Unstable relationships, totally identify with that. Unclear or shifting self-image. No, I pretty much always think I'm a piece of shit. But with her, it's like, oh, yay, yay, yay. Or with those people. Impulsive, self-destructive behaviors. Also bipolar. Self-harm. I think at some point in this, someone had said, one of the bodyguards who had flown with her from Australia back to the States, it was a bodyguard, or it was like the butler or whatever, said she'd gone to the bathroom, came out, and there were like uniform scratches on her that he did not see before. So a lot of people that are going through this, they do self-harm to self-soothe. And it doesn't make sense, but that's what they do. Extreme emotional swings. Like I said, my emotional swings will happen, but they last for weeks or months, I mean, not like in a day. I don't go from being bubbly personality to, oh my God, I'm going to fucking kill you in a day. No. It takes a lot of time for that. Chronic feelings of emptiness, explosive anger. I think we've heard in this trial how butt fucking crazy this bitch is. And again, I wanted to be on her side. I wanted to be her champion, I mean, you want any woman that's really going through stuff, you want to be there for them. But she has just dug herself a hole that she can't get out of. But whatever. Histrionic disorder. Person with disorder seeks attention, talks dramatically with strong opinions, is easily influenced, has rapidly changing emotions, thinks relationships are closer than they are. Okay. I think we've all had one of those in our lives. There's a girl that I knew just casually, but in her mind, she thought we were way tighter than we really were. And I didn't know what to do. I'm like, am I giving her false signals? I mean, like, I've spent no time with her, but she thinks we are BFFs, So it can be even on that. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be on any level. It could be peer level. And, and they are attention seeking. They are quick to anger, cruelty with people that they feel are powerless below them, concerned with image, which I think we know she checks that box. Attention seeking, check. Let me see. Prone to externalizing blame, check, check. Suppressed and denied anger, check, check, check. Now the psychologist, who's I think she's called a criminal psychologist or a forensic psychologist. I love that. Because to me, I don't care who hired you. They're pretty much unbiased. They don't really care who pays you. Here's the facts. She said she did not find PTSD with Amber. Not to say it, every person that's been abused has that. But people that have been, or people that have grown up in violent upbringings, or people that have gone through war have PTSD. Some major thing going on. She didn't have it. One of the things that she claims that her personal nurse brought up is like, well, she's had insomnia since the divorce. You've had insomnia since the divorce, so like a few years. I've had insomnia for about 2 decades. 2 decades of me either laying down, can't fall asleep, have to take something pharmaceutical for me to go to sleep, or if depression is kicking in, I can't get out of bed. So I'm so upset I can't sleep. Again, you're slapping people in the face that actually have shit wrong with them. So go fuck yourself again, Amber Heard. I think what it boils down to is what really pisses me off is that she's a lying cunt. Nothing pisses me off more than someone to look me in the eye and fucking lie to me. And then you've got those people that are so delusional that they don't know that they're lying. They really believe what they're saying. And those are the most dangerous ones. And I don't know which one she is. All right. Do I think he actually burned her with a cigarette? Absolutely not. Because if he did, she would have had a mark. She would have been able to see, look at this. Do I think he threw a cigarette at her? Probably not. Cigarette smokers love their fucking cigarettes. They're not going to throw that shit away. Like alcoholics aren't just going to throw a beer away. Do I think he flicked some ash like he said? Probably. And she's that person who's like, oh, you threw an ash on me. Oh, yeah. She has been caught in so many lies thus far. And we've not even heard her talk yet. But she's been caught in a million lies. And I've dated some shitty guys, and you know who you are. I have dated multiple shitty guys. And no matter how much I fucking loathed and hated them, I've torn up t-shirts of theirs. I may have replaced their eye drops with rubbing alcohol, but never once did I think, you know what? I'm going to take a shit in their bed. That'll show them. Even if as a practical joke, which I think is what she's claiming, practical joke that went wrong is what she told the security guard. I'm like, never once in my life have I ever thought about shit, animal, human, or otherwise being used as a practical joke. So, that being said, I have never shit the bed. Not somebody else's bed anyway. She got mad when he was late to her birthday party, right? Because he was meeting with people because his finances were going to shit. And I'm sorry, I know it's your birthday, I know you love it, but yeah, he's got his ducks in a row. He's got to get that shit together, or you're not going to have more birthday parties with him, all right? So she loses her shit. Because how dare you not drop everything for me? Borderline personality. At one point, I think the caretaker of the island, which, God, who wouldn't love a fucking private island? Again, don't make that kind of money. But she stands in front of his car to get him from leaving. Now, I've done that before. I was 18, but I've done that before. I've jumped on the hood of a car to keep a man from leaving, but I was 18. not almost 40, so she's not even keeping me with that, all right? And again, the timeline is very gray, but if you look at a lot of that footage from the elevator and that penthouse that she and Johnny shared, there were times when Elon Musk and James Franco were seen in the elevator with her that appeared to be the times he was still in Australia. Did she cheat on him? We don't know. Probably. Let's be honest, probably. But, yeah. And I love that because if this doesn't show how much of a gold digger this bitch is, again, we didn't know her before Johnny. Now all of a sudden, and again, he said, yeah, how do you think she got that role? I think we all know how she got that role. But even if he didn't mean it that way, that's how it happened. But she somehow conned Elon Musk to be like, I owe all this money for this divorce decree, which, keep in mind, from what I'm understanding, Johnny said, here's $7 million for my divorce. So she literally got $7 million from what I'm hearing. And I'm going to donate it to charity. So she had the $7 million, but here's 100,000, here's this 1,000. She got Elon, allegedly, of course it was anonymous, but we still see it was Elon, $500K of it that she had promised to the ACLU, who were the ones behind writing the op-ed piece, which I will get to in a moment. So far, what I'm surmising, she's only paid $100,000K to the children's hospital that she'd promised, $450K of which Johnny paid $100K for the ACLU, not counting the $500 of Elon, which is a far cry from the $3.5 million that she was going to give to each of those charities. So she decides I'm going to be like this purveyor of domestic violence. I'm going to be a spokesperson, which I don't know. No one approached her. Let's be honest. No one approached her. She went searching for that. If I had to guess, she's searching for that shit. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, let's write an op-ed piece for the Washington Post. Evidently, from what I'm finding, is the ACLU wrote most of it. She okayed it. So she didn't even fucking write it. And after it was published, she paid no more to the ACLU. And it's been a few years. Coincidence? Meow. Now, after the article was published, no more donations. 2 days after the article was put out, Johnny's agent got an email from the publicist, his publicist, saying, hey, dude, check out this link to this article. Look at this. Now, at the same time, 6 days after this was published, Disney decides to drop Johnny from Pirates. Oh, but no, here's all this stuff that went on before. No, here's all this other stuff and the divorce and the whatever. So all this stuff that was supposedly going on prior to her writing the op-ed had everything to do with it, right? But yet, days after they publish it, Disney says, I'm done. If that's coincidence, that's a fucking hell of a coincidence. Hell. Then today, we've had the little information, whatever guy who's like, oh, here's a graph that shows when his positive went down and his negative went up. And I'm like, who knew that was a fucking thing? But it shows, well, you see where it's going up later. I'm like, that was 1.5 years later. But the time that came out, boom, everything went to a head. Okay, the agent messaged back and forth, that was Amber's and Johnny's agent, back and forth, saying, you don't love him, meaning Elon, when she started dating Elon. Which shows, she was probably with him for his money, whatever. She didn't love him because she was still wanting to get back with Johnny at this time. the recordings. I mean, you talk about a bitch trying to set somebody up. I mean, come on. Really? The video of her, they're on Sweetser, the house that he's got in West Hollywood. And she's like setting up her phone or whatever, like trying to record him. And like she's got her coffee mug or whatever. And he's kicking the shit out of some cupboards, which I wouldn't personally do. I don't throw shit. I don't tear shit up when I'm angry because I know I've got to clean that shit up. But I see somebody else taking the shit out on inanimate objects because it's not hurting anyone but your fist and whoever you're renting or paying for the house for. But for her to go, oh, look at this, and then her to smile at the end of this video. You stupid bloody cunt. And again, they're like, oh, well, he uses this language talking about her, calling her a cunt and a bitch. And I'm like, because she is. Because she is. And I'm going to stop you right here. When they talk about the whole, well, he said to so-and-so, let's burn her, let's drown her. Immediately, without them referencing it, I knew immediately what they were talking about. And if you're Monty Python fans, you know the movie I'm talking about. The Holy Grail. Oh, she's a witch, burn her. Well, let's see if she drowns. It's a fucking Monty Python lines. I mean, God. Does he really mean to burn her or drown her? Well, maybe, but probably not. But that's a line from the movies. Come on, people. And how many times have I wished death on people? And if that was the case, I should have been arrested so much long ago. But neither here nor there. So she's trying to set him up, trying to get him to say certain words, which he's not doing. He's not like falling into it, so frustrating her. And she kept saying, oh, there you go, you're leaving, you split. Anytime something's crazy, you split. Yeah, because that's what a sane person does. When somebody's a crazy fucking bitch, they want to get the fuck out of there and away from your crazy fucking ass. So I can't fucking blame him. I can't blame him. And oh my God. If he never struck you, Johnny Depp's a fucking saint. Because after watching this and listening to the videos and, hearing the audio, I want to punch that bitch in the throat so bad I can't stand it. Amber Heard has a very punchable fucking face. And if he never put a hand on her, good for him, because I would have knocked the fuck out of her by now. Not that I condone violence, but if you're being a... Sorry for those that had to hear me pause, but my card was full and I was on a rampage. So the whole, her saying, oh, you split. Yeah, that's what you do. When someone's butt fucking crazy, you get the fuck out of that situation. And then she was calling him, oh, you're a baby, Johnny. You're a baby. Which is what it sounded like, her saying, oh, I hit you, you complain. You're such a baby. Whew. Then she's like calling him a has-been. You're going to die a fat old man. You're a washed up actor. And there's been multiple people saying she's heard her ass saying that to him. I'm like, again, if you're watching Amber, which fucking no you're not because only 3 people are watching this. But if you are, bitch, nobody knows who the fuck you are. And after this, no one's going to give a fuck. But everyone loves Johnny. And if he is a wife beater, I'll be the first one to apologize because that's awful. No one should ever put their hands on someone else unless they're being a dick. Regardless, though, no one should. So couples therapists said Amber admitting to throwing a can at him, being a drama queen, preventing him from leaving. We're hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Couples therapists, that all the bodyguards, witnesses, the manager, they're all saying the same thing. So unless he got them all together and was like, okay, here's our story, which I fucking doubt it. Because I don't care who you are. I'm not going to perjure myself for you and then possibly go to jail. And here's the thing, she's not realizing that if she gets busted lying on stage, committing perjury, her ass could go to jail, which, wouldn't that be poetic justice? He spat on people. Oh my God, oh my God. If that bitch fucking spit on me, she'd be picking her teeth up off the ground. She strikes other people. She's talked about striking Miss Pennington, her former friend. I'm like, if you're hitting your friend, not much of a friend, regardless. So the psychologist says that some of these people may mimic the person that they're around, trying to feel a loss of identity when they're gone. They may copy their dress, blah, blah, blah. We already saw that. It was very vocal when people were like, Johnny wore this yesterday, and today Amber's wearing this with a little bee pendant. Da, da, da. I mean, wow. That proved their point right there, let alone all the other dress, but that specifically. The announcers took notice to it. They even addressed that she's copying how he looks like the next day. All right, on to Johnny. Dude, I don't blame him for doing this. He's just trying to clear his name as a wife beater. Now, I get it. If someone was talking that shit to me, I don't want to get that straight real quick because it really is affecting him being able to get work. And she's saying it's affecting her. Come on, cunt. You're not a fucking good actor anyway. But for him, no one else, sans Gary Oldman maybe a few others, is quite the character actor that motherfucker Johnny Depp is. I mean, he made a character actor a leading man. I said it. And I'm not an acting coach or whatever, but I think you'll fucking agree with me. And if you don't, I will fight you in the street. Also, if you really know anything about Johnny, and if you listen to him speak, first and foremost, he considers himself a musician before he does an actor. And any musician I've ever met in my life, and I've fucked a lot of them, they really are concerned about whatever body part is making them money. Guitar players, it's this. No guitar player that I've ever met and probably will ever meet again would do anything purposely to harm these digits. No one. I don't care how angry or spiteful they are. None of them are going to cut their own fucking finger off. Especially to the point, as multiple have described it, that it looks like his finger exploded, like those exploding guitars in cartoon or cigars in cartoons. Dude, that had to be from something high velocity hitting the bone and it exploding. Which, if someone is slinging one of those big bottles of vodka across whatever bottle, but you know how big those bottles are, throwing it at, that's gonna fucking bust up your fucking finger. And he even says in one point, like, you threw some spirits at me. She didn't deny it. Like, they're talking about, well, he didn't deny the finger. I'm like, well, she didn't fucking deny that getting thrown at her, but whatever. And, he always walks away as a way to diffuse the situation. So props to him. If it's him going to the bathroom, if it's him leaving the facility, if it's him going to the office, he tries to place himself away from it. What does she do? Follows him. Because that's what a psycho stalker cunt bitch would do. None of the cops that were called, and they were called twice to the penthouse that one night, none of them saw any injuries on her at all. None saw any damage. We see the body cam footage on one of them. Walking around, nothing looks out of place. If he trashed the place so badly, they wouldn't have been able to clean that up that quickly. So no shit was fucking torn up. So again, well, you didn't get a good look at her face. I'm like, Bitch, if they're 5 feet from her, they're going to notice if she's got a black eye or it's swollen or she's bleeding. And none of them reported anything. Well, you didn't write it down in a notebook. If you don't notice anything, you would not write it down because nothing was there. All right. And that the people at the penthouse were uncooperative. It sounds about like people that don't want shit to know. Well, they didn't say that Johnny Depp was the husband. They didn't even say their names. So they were being very suspect to begin with. And what makes me crazy is during all this, her lawyers. Objection, hearsay. Objection, foundation. I've never, and I've watched a lot of Judge Wapner, a lot of ID channel. I've never heard anyone say hearsay as much in my life. I started a drinking game. Every time you heard an Amber Heard attorney say hearsay, take a drink. Because it was ridiculous. Or when they say it's a simple yes or no question. No. And we saw that today. No, not every question is a simple yes or no. You have to know the background to know whether this is or is not. Not everything is yes or no. Not everything is black or white. And as anyone is trying to explain, they're cutting them off. It's yes or no. It's yes or no. Let's move on to the next question. I'm like, clearly, you don't want the answer to come out. But whatever. Then they're talking about him being drunk and on drugs. Blackout drunk versus passed out. Let me, as a drinkologist, explain to you. If you black out, that means you have no memory of what happened. You're still walking around. You're still doing shit. You don't know what's happened. Passed out means you're the fuck asleep. And they are getting those two intermingled and they're using them in tangent. And they're very different. No one, the way they're using the word, rarely would you be that drunk and be blackout that you're still doing shit but not aware of it. He passed out. He wasn't blackout on the beach. He was passed out. He was fucking asleep. Can't hurt anybody. He's fucking asleep. I've been blackout on a toilet, which means I was asleep. The island manager said she saw Amber pulling at him, yelling at him. We've heard this over and over again. Her pulling at him, pulling. We never hear, so far, of him laying a finger on her. Again, next day or two, we may. He even says in one of the recordings, you threw a can at me. And we've heard at least 2 people say that they witnessed her throwing a can at him. One said, the manager said that he had a mark on the bridge of his nose. And Tara had, the island manager, separated them, took him back to the cafe. He had bruises, cuts. She didn't. Even the makeup company that she said she used to cover up the bruises said, oh, that palette you're talking about? It wasn't even out yet. If that's the palette you're talking about, it wasn't even out yet. We have not even introduced that to the market. Again, here or there. And it was alluded to that he was trying to control her career. Wow. Control her career by getting her gigs. Really? That's horrible. But I think really what it boils down to is she was all, I can't believe I'm only getting these parts and they're looking at me as just this female and this blonde and the blah. And he's saying, look, don't do those. Don't do those. Let me meet with you and I'll help you. And now they're trying to flip that where it's like, oh, he was controlling me. No. You're the one bitching about getting the parts you're getting because you're a blonde, fucking ditzy blonde with the only thing going for her is her body. So he's trying to help you the fuck out. And now you're going to be like, oh, he's controlling me. Oh, fuck up. All right. Now, when it comes to the brass tacks, let me review. After the op-ed piece was published, Amber stopped making payments to either charity. why was the ACLU involved in writing the piece in the first place? Interesting. They write it. She quits paying them. 2 days after that posted, Johnny's publicist gets a email or sends an email to the agent showing the link. Days after it's published, Disney says, that timeline is not coincidental. It's not fucking coincidental. All the times Disney could have canceled, they chose days after that published. That should be all you fucking need to hear. All the other stuff is gravy. That's all you need to know. It didn't happen when she got the divorce. Didn't happen when she claimed the restraining order. It happened after that Washington Post. Because, you know, the rags, the Inquirer, the whatever, no one's listening to that. Washington Post is supposed to be a respectable paper. Also, Variety and Hollywood Reporter, things like that are things that the industry listens to. So if that comes out, they're like, oh, pump the brake, you know. That's not coincidental. If this timing is coincidence, it is the most incredible bout of coincidence that has ever existed. Amber has proven to be a liar, a manipulator, has admitted to hitting Johnny multiple times, possibly cheated on him with James Franco and Elon Musk, who both have decided to not testify. So I am so curious, like, what bag of tricks does she have to pull out? Because right now, again, I don't want to pick a side. You know, I want there to no one be hitting anyone else. I want everyone to be cool. But when you're crying wolf, and there are so many other women that are actually going through domestic violence, and you're pulling this shit, and it's not real, you have fucked it for everybody else. And that makes men that are going through it not want to admit anything either. So if you're a lying cunt, fuck you, Amber Heard. Enough said. Have a good night.